So I'm a bit late to this, but it looks like the Punisher will not be appearing in Daredevil Born Again Season 2. I've had some time to sit with this news, and honestly it's still difficult to believe. With all this talk of different cameos and Daredevil needing an army to fight Fisk, the Punisher seemed like maybe the most obvious inclusion. I mean, if I could have put money on the Punisher returning in Season 2, after the role he had in Season 1, I definitely would have. He seemed like a lock. In Season 1 of Born Again, he only appeared in 2 episodes, but despite that, he really left his mark as easily one of the best parts of the season. His conversation with Matt really hits in episode 4, but let's talk about the role he played in the finale. He was absolutely vital in this episode. He came back to help fight the task force, and then eventually he went on his own little side quest. He got a ton of shine across this finale. I mean, hell, the post-credit scene of this episode was him escaping prison. And just think about that for a second. The post-credit scene for a Daredevil show was exclusively about a whole other character. That's how important Punisher was to this story, and that's part of what makes this news so surprising to me. Now, before we jump to any conclusions and call this a horrible mistake, I did actually want to try to defend this decision of not including him in this next season. After all, the Punisher making a cameo within the Daredevil show always hits, so I'm sure if they could have included him, they probably would have. So first and foremost, this could all come down to a scheduling conflict. Maybe Jon Bernthal simply had other stuff to do while they were filming the second season. That's a very realistic explanation, but maybe it's a little boring. So instead, let's talk about the fact that maybe Frank Castle's story just didn't fit into Daredevil Born Again. Let's just remember, the Punisher has a pretty big year next year with his own special presentation, and of course his much anticipated cameo in Spider-Man Brand New Day. That's going to be huge, by the way, because based off of everything we know now, he's going to do a lot more than Daredevil did in No Way Home. So yes, even without Daredevil Born Again, we are getting a ton of the Punisher next year. Now, for his special presentation, I don't know much about it. I'm pretty sure it's coming out before Spider-Man Brand New Day. If anything, I remember hearing that this presentation would kind of release pretty close to Born Again Season 2. So basically, we're going to have this special presentation, and it's going to cover whatever it covers, and then it'll lead into Brand New Day most likely. We don't know how connected these two projects will be, but I assume it'll have some level of flow to it, in the sense that maybe this special presentation sets the Punisher on a new path, and that's why he's doing whatever he's doing in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, as for what he could be doing, I don't really know. It seems like there wouldn't be anything bigger than the fight with Fisk and the task force, but clearly there will be. If I had to guess, the Punisher is going to go on something of like a solo journey throughout his presentation, fighting some sort of an enemy, and then maybe at the end he'll realize that whoever he just killed is only the tip of the iceberg, and maybe he'll unravel some sort of a deep, underground, convoluted plot where now he sets his sight on Tombstone or whoever the main villain of Spider-Man Brand New Day is. I see something like that as pretty realistic, and it would give a little bit of background as for why Frank Castle would just appear in the Spider-Man movie. So yeah, odds are they have some sort of a linear plan like that with these two projects. So then that begs the question, where does Daredevil Born Again Season 2 fit into all of this? And honestly, your answer may just be that it doesn't. Whatever plotline they cooked up for Season 2, and whatever separate plotline they have in mind for the Punisher across his presentation and Brand New Day probably just don't really go together. And I guess that makes sense. If the Punisher were to be in all 3 of these projects, I mean, that would be a lot for him to do in a relatively short amount of time. Don't get me wrong, he could definitely do it, but it would just be a little much. And if they already crafted the perfect narrative for his presentation and how it flows into Brand New Day, then why mess that up with trying to force him into Born Again? That's the way I see it, I guess. I will say I could be wrong on the semantics of it. Like maybe they just didn't know how to include him in Born Again Season 2, and that's why they gave him a different storyline in his presentation, which then leads into Brand New Day, right? Like you could flip around the sequence of events, but I still think that fundamentally it comes down to the fact that the Punisher story is just not really intersecting with Born Again's story, at least right now. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on why you think the Punisher is not returning, because once again, that's just my take. Now, before we call it a day, I did want to quickly discuss if this is a mistake or not. I know that's a very broad statement because as we just discussed, there's a lot of nuance. If we could choose between having the Punisher in Daredevil Season 2 or not having him, we would choose to have him. And we would say that not having him sucks, and it's kind of a mistake. But I will actually come to the defense of whoever made this decision, because I feel like the writers for Season 2 know what they're doing. If they absolutely needed the Punisher to be in this season, he would have been, right? Like, I'm pretty sure the guys working on Season 2 are the ones who wrote the best episodes of Season 1 that everybody loved, so I trust these guys. And based off of that leaked trailer, it does look like we have a great season on our hands. And also, one more additional note, it looks like Jessica Jones is going to be playing the sort of ally role to Daredevil in this season, as opposed to last season where it was kind of the Punisher. So that could potentially be a reason as well. But yeah, guys, that's all I've got. I kind of just wanted to give my take on the whole situation. Bottom line is, it kind of sucks that we're not seeing the Punisher in Daredevil Born Again Season 2, but if it's for the best, I feel like we can trust these writers, and I think we're going to get a banger season. And then later on in the year, we can all go see Spider-Man Brand New Day and get our fix at the Punisher. But yeah, guys, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the Punisher reportedly not being in Daredevil Born Again Season 2? Also, what type of storylines do you think they'll go for with his special presentation and Spider-Man Brand New Day? I would love to hear your theories. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.